Hi guys, you're with CarBuyer and we're going to show you the all-new Mercedes S-Class today. Oops, I mean the all-new C-Class. It's going to be an easy mistake to make, and if you stick around, I'm going to show you why. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is a C-Class after all, but you can see why it's easy to mistake this for an S-Class, at least from a distance. It does have the now horizontally oriented tail lamps that are split down here. It doesn't quite have the same pushed forward lean over here at the end, but you know what? One of the reasons why people talk about this as the baby S-Class is because it has that sort of long proportion and cigar-like silhouette. Now, if you come around to the front with me, one more thing to talk about is that this is longer than the old C-Class by 6.5 cm, 2.5 cm for the wheelbase. At the front though, you really can tell details that signify this as a C-Class. The headlamps have a very unique design, and there's that one lighting element that signifies a C-Class. Apparently the S-Class has 3, and apparently the E-Class has 2. But you know what's interesting? Now all the C-Classes sold here in Singapore have these lovely power domes on the bonnet, and that usually signifies lots of performance. But if you look under the bonnet, what you'll see instead is efficiency. Okay, let's have a look here. So this is a 1.5 litre engine, and it's the same engine for both the C180 and C200 here in Singapore. Different states of tune. This being a C200 has 204 horsepower, the other one has 170. What's interesting though is across the range you've got mild hybrid technology now. That means a 48 volt battery that stores energy when you decelerate, and between the gearbox and the engine there's actually an electric motor that adds up to 20 horsepower, and it gives you a kick of torque. So I think that's worth 200 Newton meters, so whenever you accelerate, you feel it right away. So that's the best of both worlds really, because that improves your fuel consumption, but it also improves your acceleration. Okay, so thanks for joining me inside the new C-Class. Before we talk about this lovely dashboard, I want to remind you that I talked about the wheelbase earlier on being 2.5 centimeters longer, so I think that's now longest in the class, and it of course creates a lot of legroom in the back. So back in the front here, now have a look at this dash, right? So it's kind of built along the themes of aerospace, so there's a sort of wing-like surface here for the dash, and look at these lovely air vents. They're supposed to remind you of the sort of jet engines that you find on a jumbo jet. All very nice, and of course they change color when you play with the temperature and stuff like that. Ooh, look at that. Just turned on the afterburners. Okay, but you know, this being the sort of Mercedes saloon for slightly younger people, it is very digital. I mean, that's true of the S-Class as well, and there's a lot of resemblance here. So, okay, you've got this freestanding screen, 12.3 inches, very sharp, very clear, and very typically Mercedes. But have a look at this 11.9-inch vertical screen. We've seen it in the S-Class, and so a lot of that is carried over. And just looking at, you know, the graphics, they're super sharp. They kind of render smoothly, and you know, it all looks very nice. But integration with Apple CarPlay is something I find quite good in this car. It's always one touch away. You've got 3 rows of apps instead of the usual 2 that you see in other cars. And it's so nicely integrated because you can use this and you can still do things like fiddle with the aircon temp and all that without, you know, tapping around in different menus and screens. If you want to go back to the Mercedes environment, all you have to do is press here, and you know, you're back in Mercedes, so you don't really have to choose. Let's see. Oh, guess what? The media actually in the Mercedes environment is actually playing off my mobile phone. So even though I'm using CarPlay, I'm using my own music collection. Oh, let's not get a copyright strike here. Even though I am playing my own music collection from my own Apple phone, I can do it within the Mercedes environment. So lots of lovely integration. Mercedes is hiring thousands and thousands of software engineers as we speak, and I think it's really starting to show. I saved one of my favorite features of the car for the last though, so follow me back outside and I'll show you what it is. Okay, so we've come to another one here. We were sort of messing around with the C200 Avantgarde, but this is the C180 AMG line. That's actually available in Singapore for the first time as an AMG line. You lose quite a few features. It's still pretty well spec'd, but you don't have things like 4-wheel steering, you don't have things like AR navigation. But with the AMG line, you do get this lovely grille here, and I think, well, look at this constellation of 3-pointed stars. It used to be a diamond shape kind of thing, but now there's actually 200 of these 3-pointed stars on the front grille. 201, as a friend of mine just told me, if you include this So that really is one of the things I think is just going to make this such a nice sight on local roads in 2022. So that's our quick roundup of the all-new Mercedes C-Class here in Singapore. For full details, please head on to carbuyer.com.sg. Meanwhile, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you again